How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of Fresh Review Friday. As you can see, things look a little bit different here in the HQ. Well, you could say that Kyle and I morphed and just, created somebody else, or we could say that our longtime friend Andy is joining us today. He enjoys cigars. It's not a cigar sit down, but we had to find a way to get him into the show.
Absolutely. We haven't seen him for a very long time, and we decided this was just as good an opportunity as any to get back together, hang out, and enjoy some cigars. So here he is, and we're going to get started by reviewing one of Tim's favorites, and I will say it is actually a good one. If you're looking for a good, affordable budget stick, this is definitely a winner. We're going to be smoking the JM's Dominican Sumatra.
Check it out.
What's up, guys? You're tuning in for another Fresh Review Friday. I'm going to be completely transparent right now.
I have screwed up.
We're experiencing some technical difficulty, but we're hanging out with our good friend Andy Van Dyke. We've known each other for years. We haven't seen each other in a long time. So we thought, what better way to hang out than get together and smoke some stogies? So here we are enjoying a JM's Dominican Sumatra. And we were kind of discussing it a little bit. You're going to have to give the Cliff Notes version, I think. Just tell people what your first third experience is.
Earthy. Starts off with and I'll take your words. Starts off with a sort of velvety vanilla creaminess, but it's gone very quickly and it goes into earthy notes. Gets very nutty about halfway through the first third, but stays very smooth on the draw. I'm not one that likes a tight draw, and I don't like too loose of a draw. And I think this is pretty close to where I like it, maybe a little bit on the tighter end of the draw for me. But I'm enjoying it quite a bit. But yeah, it's the nuttiness, the earthiness, and there's like a baking spice Kyle mentioned a minute ago when we tried doing this take the first time and it didn't work. That there was some baking spice in it. I said, yeah, maybe a little bit of nutmeg or something like that in there.
You hear how fast he's talking right now? Because we're trying to make sure that we give you what we're experiencing in the midst of all
Consider
the
this the Cliff Notes on the JM's Sumatra.
I know. Andy, why don't you give them like your overall impression so far, just kind of the flyover, if you will.
I love it. To be honest with you, like I said, I kind of stole the words out of my mouth. I mean, the beginning was, it was beautiful. The flavors were amazing to start, and then like you said, transitioned very quick. But the nice thing about that transition is that you didn't get used to anything specific.
No, it doesn't settle on any one thing.
No, it's different. Like every time I'm taking a draw, like I said a few minutes ago, like I'm still trying to figure out. Like you guys have said, like the nutmeg and things like that. But I honestly. I started to feel like there was a little bit more pepper too.
Yeah,
now
it's
that
subtle.
now that now that I'm seeing, like you guys said that, I can taste the nutmeg flavoring, but I almost feel like, I don't know. I would say the word like paprika, but it's not. It's like even subtler than that. Like it would be.
Oh yeah.
It would just, you just get just an amazing flavor and
for such an inexpensive cigar.
Raby, I couldn't begin to tell you when you said $2.50 a stick. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we
Totally
only wish
affordable.
some more cigars could be at that price point, but alas, we know that different factors go into what a cigar costs.
Exactly.
But it's nice to find something that is inexpensive but still very good.
Oh,
well, and that's true. And the burn on all of ours, I mean, we've each, touched it up a
Just a
smidge
little
here,
bit.
smidge there. But for $2.50, who's going to complain
No.
about something like that? But we are all noting it down in our Dad's Cigar Journal. And again, we were in length about it with technical difficulties. So, long story short, I put together the Dad's Cigar Journal because I wanted something that would reflect the way that I enjoy cigars. I wanted something that, and I'll put the screenshot up in front of our faces so you don't have to stare at our ugly mugs when I say this. Andy's going, wait, my face.
but mine's cute.
There you go.
You have a very
Your
cute
wife thinks
face.
so.
I'm glad she does.
Yes, but I wanted to put together something that would give you all the opportunities to fill in all the notes and everything that you would want in a cigar review, from the makeup and construction to who you were with when you enjoyed it. Did you have anything to drink while you were enjoying the cigar? To rating the first, dry draw notes, first third, second third, final third, and then a rating scale.
Yeah.
Some places like Cigar Aficionado will do a 100-point rating system. Many other cigar reviewers do it that way as well, so it can be sort of universal. But there's room in the margins to write your own notes. And so I wanted to put together something that you guys would be able to follow along with us in our journey and enjoy remembering from, whenever you start this journal and be able to look back over the days, months, weeks, and years. I said that out of order. Days, weeks, months,
I was like,
and
wait a
years.
second, hold on. What just happened?
Those times you do
Normal
things,
shit happens.
And I want to add just another thing is that the beautiful thing about this journal, and I again, and I said this in another segment that we're not going to use. I don't say this because Tim's my best friend and my business partner. I say it because it's true. You have the choice to be as detailed as you want or keep it as simple as you want.
Yep.
Don't think of it as homework. You don't have to fill in every single blank.
No, not
it's
at all.
not something you're going to be tested on later.
The answer's not all C.
No, the answer's not all C.
Oh,
Abracadabra.
But you're not getting graded.
Oh, good.
So you're good.
Good. Okay.
You're good.
No teachers are sitting right here with us. So we're good.
Think of it as just relaxing, luxurious research. Something where you can go back and reflect on it, whether or not you choose to have that same cigar again further down the line. You may not experience it the same way the next time. Then again, it may be exactly as you remember it. Honestly, I'm remembering this perfectly from the last time I smoked it. It hasn't changed, but it's actually still very good to me, and I would smoke it again and again and again.
Well, and think about it from this perspective. We reviewed cigars that are boutiques, that are heritage lines, and everything in between that didn't have ash hold, and we're not huge on that, but they didn't have ash hold and construction in some ways as well as this does. And it holds together well. Yeah, it's not 100% straight burn, but it's holding together well. It breaks off very cleanly, and there's a nice red hot cherry right at the end of the foot whenever you do, and so it's
got a good glow on it,
very well.
So I'm enjoying it just as much as I used to. Even though I've smoked a number of cigars since then, and there's certain cigars I might not revisit because my palate's changed or whatever the case might be, but I will revisit this one over and over again. It's a nice, simple, inexpensive stick, and I'm enjoying it.
Got me red. Sorry.
Okay, now I got to do it.
Have you tried retrohaling before? You retrohale? You retro bro.
Bro.
It takes some practice. When Tim and I first started doing it, we were just like,
and then your eyes water for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, but when you get used to it, you can't stop because it opens up the flavor so much more. So but we're behind the scenes. We're going to teach Andy how to retrohale as best we can. I think that's a nice segue into the next segment. We're going to enjoy the second, third, and we'll get back to you, and you'll find out whether or not Andy knows how to retrohale.
If he's still sitting here, we know he's still alive and doing okay.
So yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys in a second.
Now, the wording
retrohale.
is going to be tricky because basically you're going to have to let the smoke kind of flow up into your soft palate.
So do it without the cigar first. Do like you're taking a draw on it, and then blow about 80% of it out through your mouth. And then what you want to do is just sort of exhale. Some people say if you sort of like chew the air, it'll work its way out your nasal cavity. But you just sort of exhale out your nose, and it takes sort of a gag reflex management to overcome it.
All right. Let's see. Let me see if I can even.
You have to apply a little bit of pressure with your tongue against your soft palate and kind of pushing it through your nose.
I got more pepper on that one.
It's tricky.
Molasses cookie, like a sweetness out of that. That was good.
There it was.
Yeah? Did you get it a little bit?
It went out the nose.
A little bit?
It went out the nose. There it is.
This is a smooth enough cigar. It opens it up.
Totally changes the flavor.
Now I'm interested.
He's going for another try. All right. There you go.
There you go.
That was beautiful.
You have
Oh, I get to go. I get to put the cap.
We don't have a cap. We don't have a gun. So we taught Andy how to retrohale. It was successful. So we're gonna keep going into that second, third, and we'll be back with you guys again.
How's it going, everybody? We are back with our second, third notes of the JM's Dominican Sumatra, and it is performing well to my standards, my take at least. Granted, I am kind of biased because it's one of the cigars. To give a little bit of background on it, you guys know Dad smoking cigars. Kyle, obviously, his dad got him into cigars. My father-in-law is a retired fireman and smoked cigars for many years, still does. and is actually getting into them even more so since we've started this. I went to the local cigar shop there, brick and mortar, and just thought, okay. And they had buy 4 get 1 free, and I thought, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And I saw these, and purely it was because of the wrapper. And I had, seen the Romeo y Julietas and the different ones that were all there, and I thought, I want to try something that to me doesn't look like this big major cigar.
Yeah.
And
the
so
heritage lines have their value, but you
Sure.
want to check out something you've never tried
And so
before.
I checked out this JM's, and it was the Dominican Connecticut, not the Sumatra that we're having tonight, and bought, I think, 3 of them were the JM's and a couple other oddballs, whatever they were, and absolutely loved it and thought, okay, this is a brand I can get behind and I can support. And so I've enjoyed them ever since. So yeah, I'm kind of biased to JM's, but it's because I've enjoyed them for so many years, and there are other people that I've told about them, and they go, I've never even heard of them. So again, it's, kind of helping get their name out there for whatever little amount that does. But then it's fun enjoying them with people that have never tried them before, like Andy and Kyle's had them, time and time again because of me introducing him to them. But of other people that haven't tried them before, and they're like, man, this is really good. And when you tell them the price point, you would think that this would be. I could easily see this being a $6 to $7 stick.
Right.
Nothing
Oh,
more
yeah.
than that, but a $6 to $7 stick.
Yeah, it's still inexpensive, but these are, and I don't say this to sound derogatory, they are dirt cheap. But you're not smoking dirt. You're
they
smoking
perform well.
something quality.
It's a clean punch on it. I mean, the construction, it's not perfectly round.
No.
But again, you get what you pay for when you know you're getting a budget stick. And now you guys are getting a little bit of a taste as to why, even though this isn't the Connecticut, but why when I have said that I won't smoke, and I'll say it, the Drew Estate Factory Smoke Connecticut Shade.
I'm sorry.
I'm not a fan of that. And there's nothing wrong with that because it doesn't fit my palate. But it's not even just my palate. It's the experience wasn't something that I want to revisit.
Yeah.
So I'll go and pick up, a whole bunch of these Dominicans, the JMs, instead because I enjoy it that much more.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Andy, I mean, you said a couple times already that you're kind of blown away by the flavor and quality for something so inexpensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and we're very proud to say, as you saw in the last segment, he has learned to and is successfully retrohaling.
Yeah, that's right. And I didn't cough up a lung.
No, he was so smooth about it, so much better than Tim and I when we first tried it. We were like, I was like pinching the bridge of my nose, my eyes were watering up. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. Now I do it all the time, and I know Andy's going to do it all the time now.
Oh, fantastic.
But it opens up the flavor. I mean, I got a little more pepper when I just retroed right now. So pepper's starting to come through more. It still has some of the woody, earthy notes, but it's much more of the, I mean, I would say this is probably a good solid medium stick as far as body. A good solid medium. It's not light. It's definitely not full, but a good solid medium smoke. And yeah.
Now, Andy, like you've had like some cheap smokes and stuff like that. I mean, how does this compare?
It's so funny. Like you talk about price point, and we talk about all that different. It's a $2.50 kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, when I first started smoking, like a long, long time ago, like acids, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Acids. Oh yeah, we've smoked our share of acids for sure.
Blondies and all sorts of them.
Blondies and Cubas and all that stuff.
I've got about 12 of them that I've had for like 8 years, just sitting in my humidor.
They're not a bad smoke to have if you just want to smoke something that
right mood for it.
Is easy and it's a little on the sweeter side.
It is, but here's the thing. I would not choose the super expensive acid because let's be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a bit pricey.
Yeah. And for me, it was at the time it was like, I'm going to become part of the cool crowd and have acids. Right?
That means you got to ride a street bike with no protective gear.
And I did.
Well, then
I fit right in.
So yeah, you fit the profile, man.
Yeah,
you are Mr. Acid.
Until I got an accident. But other than that,
you still have most of your skin.
Yeah, my shoulder's a little messed up still. But who needs a shoulder?
No,
you got another one.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would pick this smoke over that 99 out of 100 times.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what's the important part is that it's super good, it's super quality. I find that the acids, I don't know. For me, I can't really differentiate each third. I feel like each third is pretty much identical. Like
acids are kind of more for like the beginners. It's the intro smoke.
Flavor, the sweetness on the tip. You want
it's a nice smooth smoke, not complex at all.
No.
But it's not made for that.
Yeah, but
this, I mean,
it is. It's made for it, but again, we're talking about $2.50. Where 6 to 8 of them would cost you almost $100 or more. Like, why would I spend that much money when I can spend $100 and get a box
of 20
like that? That to
a
me
box
is
of 50.
or
Yeah, $100 will get you 50 of these.
Yeah.
Like I said, on Cigars International, you will get 50 of these for around $100.
you can
And
live there.
yeah, exactly. That's a fantastic price point, and it's a good quality cigar. It is technically what you would call a budget or inexpensive stick, but honestly, if
worth
you
it.
it's worth it, and you would honestly never know just because it is actually a quality cigar for the price.
If you wouldn't have told me,
Yeah,
like honestly, if you wouldn't have said price point and we would have sat here and we would have smoked it, I would have said $7 or $8.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I would have said. I
Yep.
wouldn't have, and again, that's not degrading the quality at all.
No,
Like
not at all.
I would honestly say that if I was offered something between this and a $20 cigar, I would assume that they were pretty much the same. If somebody were to offer it,
I have
Yep.
spent $16 or more on a single cigar that was not as good as this.
Yep.
yeah. What was that one? I'm trying to remember the name of it because it was so long ago, but it's got the dual wrapper. It's the tan and black.
It's like a barber pole.
Yeah, like
That's
a
what they
barber
call
pole,
that.
right?
But we're not trying to slam other brands.
No,
We're just
no, not
saying
at all.
that,
I'm not
like,
even saying the name.
yeah,
We're
for
just having discussions.
yeah, for sure, because like
It's very impressive.
it's amazing the contrast in quality from something that might cost 15 to $20, and then this is a $2.50 stick, and I would smoke this over some of those highly priced smokes.
Absolutely. So, guys, those are our thoughts on the second, third. We'll come back to you when we're down to the nub or when we feel like
I have a
we're
feeling that's where we're going to end
appropriately
up.
at the final third and give you our thoughts then. See you in a second.
Mike. All right, so we're going into the final third.
Yeah.
I am extremely excited to actually get to talk about the final third now that I've actually taken it in and thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
It transitions so much that
Yeah.
now we're in like a weird, earthy, crazy, amazingly tasting end that I didn't see coming. Like I didn't see it coming, and I think that's what I love about it the most right now. Is that
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea from
Yep.
the beginning what I was to expect. So, I can't wait to finish it. So that I can honestly write in the book exactly my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
That's more important right now because I feel like I'm going to get so much more out of it when I reflect back and look at it.
Oh,
a little
yeah.
bit
Oh,
more,
sure.
right?
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you guys for having me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We're so
Anytime.
happy to have you. This was something that was kind of like, I don't want to say last minute decision, but it's one of those things like, why not just do this? Because it sounds like a good time. We normally, when we do reviews, we don't have guests. If we have a guest, it's for the cigar sit down and stuff like that. And honestly, I am so down to do this more often.
Absolutely.
And have, whether it's you or another buddy of ours or friend of ours who enjoys cigars like we do, come in and do a review of the same cigar. Dude, we've been having a blast just kicking back, chilling, and enjoying ourselves the way we have. I mean, really,
It's been a
that's
ton of
what
fun.
that's what it's all about.
Well, it was funny because when you text me and you're like, hey, Andy's probably going to come down, I was like, cool. And then I thought, are we still smoking the JMs? Because they're a budget stick, and I know Andy enjoys cigars. And Kyle's like, I don't see why not. I'm like, cool, game on.
Let's do it.
You like I told you, you guys could have told me anything about it being budget or anything like that.
$25 cigar.
Yeah, right.
I honestly, the way that it is
Very
smoked,
rare, hard to find.
Hey, the way that it is smoked, I wouldn't have argued the fact that it was up there. So again, that's a testament to your guys's, ability to find that rarity in something that is so not expensive.
Well, it's a hidden gem, honestly. And Tim and I love finding
The diamond
hidden
in the
gem,
rough.
the diamond in the rough type cigars, because we've been fortunate enough to have people get in touch with us and say, would you be down to try it, or
absolutely.
or make
if you're
a
watching this
purchase?
and you're curious, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to. We'll buy them if you feel, like you would want to send them to us. Either way, we're happy to support you. And we have absolutely loved getting or purchasing cigars from brands that you might never have heard of unless you're like exploring the community on social media and stuff
And we
like
hadn't heard
that.
about them until they reached out to us.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
Morales being one of them.
yes.
And Morales cigars, if you guys have not tried Morales, yes, obviously we're having jams, but if you guys have not tried Morales cigars, look them up. Their two blends are finely crafted with attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the 1205. We haven't had the 603, but we've really enjoyed being able to try different brands, and we appreciate you guys, whether we buy them, and support you guys, which we have no problem doing. Obviously, we're not here for free handouts. But getting back to the JMs, I mean, each of us picked up different notes, but still with similar themes: rich soil, earthiness,
I had to
and
stick it.
there you
It was
go.
getting hot. I'm not gonna lie, it was getting hot, but the
Yep.
flavor's still
It's
great.
still there, but there's and I said there was sort of I don't remember if I said like charred or whatever it was, but I said like an earthy butterscotch caramel kind of note, and Kyle goes, so like
Kind of a
a
charred
charred
butterscotch.
butterscotch. And I said, yeah, exactly.
And I'm getting really like towards the end. The smoke output is ridiculous towards the end. Like
It just
coming
goes.
off of the front end of the foot that's being burned, and just blowing out the smoke after you take a puff and stuff like that. I'm really getting some deep, rich soil, leather, some very,
Ooh.
very subtle sweetness
That was
on
good.
the back end. Really good. And this cigar honestly screams hidden gem.
Yep. Which is why I keep going back to it.
Yes, I haven't tried the Connecticut yet. I want to try the Nicaragua.
Yes.
That's another one of the lines that JM's puts out.
And if you like a sweeter one, they do have a honey Connecticut too.
Another
That's
one.
interesting.
Yeah, they've got a small variety, but it's enough to where you think, you know what, I would want to try that. And you look at the band. The band, I don't say this in a negative way. The band's nothing special. It's simple.
But
It's
I love that
basic,
it's that simple.
and it has a little picture of the Dominican. It's just simple. It's basic. It says handmade on there. The cigar's made with love. Honestly, you can tell just by the construction, by the flavor and stuff like that. It may not be
Flashy or fancy.
as flashy or fancy. It may not be constructed like some other cigars that may have had a little bit more attention to detail.
Well, I'll be honest. Full transparency. I handed Kyle. I had 6 or 8 of them in my humidor left over, and I handed Kyle one, and he goes, "You know what? This one right there at one of the seams with the wrapper on it." He goes, "It's kind of split a little bit." And I said, "Okay, I'll grab you another one." I mean, it happens. We've seen that happen with some of the greatest cigars we've tried, and we've seen that happen with even this one. But it's just the nature of a hand rolled cigar. It happens.
You're gonna get one that might have a slight flaw in it, but honestly, I don't think. I almost wish I would have tried the one that was split, just because I wonder what the experience would have been if it would have been any different than this. Something tells me it wouldn't have been. I probably still would have enjoyed the hell out of it. So
I can't stop enjoying it.
no, it's
I know,
great.
right?
It's really frustrating that it has to end at some point.
But look at the smoke that just comes off of it. It's just great. You probably can't see it on camera, but smoke. I mean, we've got a fan going in here, but the smoke. I mean, you take a good draw from it, and it just keeps going and going. And
Oh, yeah.
Andy, you even mentioned earlier on, I thought it was going to go out, and then you take a nice good draw from it, and you get one that's kind of so, and then it
You
just
saved
fully
it.
goes back into it.
It fired right back up like it had never even lost any
Yeah.
any bit of it. It's fantastic.
Yep.
As my mouth is like watering everywhere.
He almost drooled on himself.
It's
I probably did.
it's one of those cigars that honestly, just the flavor and the complexity of it for something as budget friendly and inexpensive, the quality's there. It's got good flavor. Tim and I have a slight bit of bias. Tim more so than I, but I have tried him enough times.
It's consistent.
But it is consistent. It's not like you try it once, it was just okay. You try it again, okay, maybe a little bit better. Every single time. They're honestly, it hits
sorry
home
you don't
every
like
single
it.
time. Yeah, I know. Andy hates it.
You might have to get some more so you can see if they get any better.
I think I might have to do that. I got about 100 pages to fill in. I can go
Right.
every couple pages.
There you go.
And see my actual opinion changes.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, to let you guys know that just because it's a boutique brand, which you know that we absolutely are in love with here at Dad Smoking Cigars, but there are budget sticks out there, whether they're mass produced and they're the big, huge lines, or whether they're a smaller brand like JM's, who does actually own another cigar line. But try different cigars, try different things. One of the greatest compliments that I think we got when we did the Tu Gurkha or Not in last week's Fresh Review Friday was someone put in the comments, "Thank you for not slamming them," because another person right after that comment said, "Hey, I'm a Gurkha guy. I love them, and I'll smoke them all day long." Good, go for it, and we love
Mhm.
that. But don't rule out budget sticks that maybe you've never heard of before, because that's exactly
Yeah.
what I tried here uh,
'Cause
13 years ago, and I
Yeah.
fell in love with them.
At first glance, you might think like that band is so basic. I mean, do I want to try that? It looks so cheap. It honestly, don't let the basic band throw you off, or the fact that it's kind of an obscure brand, because JM's is honestly out there all the time promoting its brand,
Oh yeah,
trying to
huge.
get people to try more of their cigars. They have giveaways constantly
Yep.
because they want people to try and enjoy their cigars. And
And if I'm not mistaken, they're actually based out of Los Angeles.
yeah, they're pretty local.
Yeah, they're based out of
So,
LA from what I've seen recently. And
Wow.
so it's great to see that a manufacturer that, yes, obviously it's Dominican Cigar. Um, for this one, they've got a Nicaraguan and different other blends. But
mhm.
it's great to see, with all the taxes, without getting all political, with all the taxes and everything that are here in California, that there is a budget-friendly manufacturer that can still make it work and make it work well.
Absolutely. And it's worth the money. And we might have to pay them a visit.
JMs, if you happen to look on this, I mean, we're a little old dad smoking cigars, but if you
Oh,
happen to
yeah.
look on this, we would love to come down and visit.
Oh, yeah. We'd love to come visit you and take a look at your operation and hang out with you guys. So if you like what you're watching and you appreciate our thoughts, please hit us up.
Or you want us to try some other ones to
Yes,
review, we're more than happy to do that
absolutely.
as well.
More than
So,
happy.
well, I think we're going to go ahead and end it here, guys. It's been a lot of fun
Hmm.
trying this budget stick. It's been a lot of fun since we actually, in case you guys didn't notice, we've changed up the HQ a little bit. And instead of Kyle and I squeezing next to each other like a couple of sardines, changed up the counter and the bar here in the HQ. Made some more room. It just made more sense, frankly. But
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun. Andy,
Perfect opportunity to have our very special guest.
absolutely. It's
I
Thank you for
appreciate it.
so
joining
much
us.
fun having you
Oh,
here. It's been
God.
great.
Can't wait to do it again.
Exactly.
And we will do it again.
We
Awesome.
will. So, for Kyle, for Andy, I'm Tim. We are the Dad Smoking Cigars, and as always, we'll see you. What's up, guys? We wanted to come back one last time because we did talk about the Dad Cigar Journal, and we
Hmm.
wanted to give you our thoughts on how we rated the cigar. Since we're going in now, every single review, Kyle and I, or whoever we've got with us, we're going to go through and do sort of our summary of what we thought, flavor notes, and let me give you sort of the markers of what's here in the Dad Cigar Journal. Flavor out of 20 points, flavor transition out of 20 points, burn out of 20 points, smoke output out of 10, staying lit out of 10, construction out of 10, and band removal out of 10.
Hmm.
When I put all of that together for mine, trying to be as subjective as possible and realizing that it is a budget stick and keeping that in mind, when I add all of mine together, I actually came out to a 90. In my mind, going into it, I probably been like, oh, it's going to get like a 92, 93, but I came in at a 90, and I think that's as honest as I could be, but only because I've enjoyed the cigar so much that there's an affinity for it.
Yeah. And for me, because I haven't gotten to enjoy it as much as Tim, I think I've only had a handful of these over the years. As Tim has had them in his possession, he was gracious enough to share them with me, and so. But every single time I've had them, it's been consistent. And for me personally, I rated about a 85 out of 100, which is still a good rating in my mind, just because I mean it's still a very complex cigar, good flavor, and I honestly, it's one of those cigars that will never fail you. Every time you smoke it, it's going to be consistent. It's going to be the same. And sometimes when you smoke something, you'll go back to it. It's a little different. This one, it hits the nail on the head every time.
Yeah, I mean, touching on what they said, in all honesty, before I even finished it, I wrote down what I thought the score was going to be.
Yeah.
I really did, and it stuck right where I thought it was going to stick. Even at the very end, putting all the numbers into it, going through each third, thinking about each third back. I'll tell you, I gave it an 85, and to be honest with you, it borderlined that 90. It really did.
Right.
If I could say anything, that first third was fantastic. The second third was great, and the back half, the final third, was extreme. So I loved every bit of it. So that first third was, I think, the only reason that for me it went down, maybe,
Sure.
and that's just
Yeah.
and that's just
And that's your honest take.
yeah, and I truly appreciate the craftsmanship and the attention to detail for the cost that it is.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
that'll be mine, 85, and I'll probably end up buying a box myself. So if that says anything,
There you go. Yeah,
There you go.
It is a great stick for the price, and it is worth smoking over and over and over again. I don't.
Yep.
It's one of those cigars that will never fail you.
Nope.
So those are our final thoughts as we reviewed them in our Dad's Cigar Journal. We really hope you'll pick up a copy of Dad's Cigar Journal so that way you can document your thoughts. And by the way, dads don't have a monopoly on cigars. Anybody, you want to pick up a Dad's Cigar Journal, it's not just
Do it.
for dads, it's for everyone. And we really hope you'll pick up a copy, not just to support us, but because it's honestly worth noting your thoughts, remembering your experience so you can go back and revisit it. And again, if you try the same cigar again, might be different, might be the same,
Absolutely.
but it helps document your experience so that way it's solid in your memory.
Yep. Exactly. So again, we are who we are. You know that already. But we'll catch you next time. As always, we'll see you.